YouTube and grounding.
You gotta
This costs
put your
extra.
in the earth.
I was here one time and I'm sitting and recording. It was just me.
Mhm.
And this man walks by, like an older man, like, I don't know, 70 or something. He's like,
Mhm.
"Are you taking photos of your feet?" I was like, "No, but maybe I should."
You sound like he was an interested buyer, huh?
It was so funny. No, we had a great. And then he sat down, and I ended up turning the phone off, and we just sat there and talked for like half an hour. And he told me, he doesn't have it. He has a phone because he has to have a phone, but like he doesn't have TV, he doesn't have an email, like nothing. I was like, that
Off the
sounds
grid.
great. Yeah.
Probably one of the most focused people on the planet.
And I actually hit him up because he told me he still has like vaccine injury issues going on, and he told me about it. And this is a long time ago, and I was like, I want to help him. I was like, let me get your number. So I took his number, and now I think it's time to reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after this story hits mine, so you should act on it when you think about it.
But who are you? Tell the screen.
My name is Rio Maaxx. I'm here from a star, here from Yah, to show you who you are. Ha ha. And I am a world-renowned international body painter, master artist, and all-around creator. Because my artistic elements knows no bounds. If it needs to go into music,
also know.
I feel it. It's like the sun is shining. Like so, like I am in the power of arts, and wherever art leads me, that's where I go. It could be music, it could be storytelling, it could be theater, and it could be painting, and any other form in between it, comedy, dancing. Just fuse all those elements together. And my purpose on this planet is to remind people of what love is, how love should be done, and who Yahuwah Elohim is. That is why I'm here.
What did you say in the end?
Yahuwah Elohim.
What does that mean?
So it is the Hebrew name of God.
Oh,
and,
I didn't know that.
And it is when you look at the origin of etymology and the origin of words, you have to trace back the grandmothers and grandfathers of language, and those languages either based in Sumerian, Phoenician, or Hebrew. They're three of the oldest languages, and other languages come from those.
Yeah.
So because of my cultural background and my bloodline, which is a whole nother story, Hebrew is what I study, what I read.
So do you speak fluent?
Not completely yet. But I am a man who has been blessed with the opportunity to experience other people's cultures, other people's languages, other people's ethnicities and cultural backgrounds. And I've taken a lot of information from that throughout my pretty much nomadic life of going around the nation, and put those elements in my art, put those elements in my music, and showing people how to get to their higher selves based on information that's already seeded in you that you don't know how to access is what I am all about. And this is the reason why mental health, physical health, and let's talk about the spiritual health, because you need to check in with your spiritual self, because it is the true aspect of who you are. Once you leave this body, your spirit and soul is everlasting. It's going to travel to different other areas of support that help support the energies of everything back here.
I can't wait for you to do that thing that I told you about this morning.
What? Oh yeah,
like everything you're saying right now is basically what they're saying before they. So they talk first, and then later on it's just sounds, right, or frequencies. But this is basically, he's just saying exactly what you just said, but in other words.
Because here's the thing, we feel like this is some unreachable, unknown, hidden secret. It's not. All we are in this country is cleverly distracted, but we're not stupid.
Yep.
We're cleverly distracted. So if you take away a lot of the things that distract you, take away your phone, take away TV, most of the time people start discovering these things about themselves when they are in nature. Why? Because it's natural. Why? Because you are natural. Now, I'm gonna say something that people don't pay much of attention to. As above, so below. As left, so is right. As up, so is down. All right, so as natural, there's unnatural, and then there's supernatural, and then there's natural. So we are walking on the third plane of existence right now.
Do you know what? Speaking of that supernatural, when you think of the word, like I actually didn't think about it until now you said it. We think that supernatural is something like outside of what exists, kind of. But you said it's just natural. It's just extra natural, basically.
It's extra natural.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. There are things that exist outside of us, right? That we are still connected to. But if you're trying to think of that from a mental or physical level, you feel like it's a bit of a detachment. We gotta stop thinking like that. Yep. Spirituality is no different than my head to my neck. They're all connected. So it's another reason why the Haitian community is so like in tune with each other, because their culture understands that spirit is in the wind, the trees, the birds, the bees, the rocks, the sea, the animals, everything. And what is called voodoo is also voodoo or voodoo. It's like all it is their spiritual understanding about everything being spiritual.
Prince Voodoo was my dog's name.
Wow. It's like the way that it was taught is horrible. The only reason that their culture has been like somewhat demonized is because the French are very upset that they kicked their behind, and Haitians kicked everybody's behind that came into their area to try and overthrow it, because they had a communal telepathic understanding about spirituality and how that works with their community. These are things that need to be understood, and they need to be indoctrinated into the real way that spirituality works, and that way we can separate ourselves from religion. Religion is system. Religion is a system, no different than politics. Politics is a system.
Yep.
So like when people are telling you, oh, you must be in this place to pray, and you must eat this body of Christ, and you must drink this wine, and you must read this Bible every day, and you must punish yourself if you do some sin. Those things are counterproductive to being able to rise into the element of who you are, because they strip you away from the accountability of your own spirituality. You start depending on the accountability of someone else to relieve you of your sins, and someone else to relieve you of the guilt you feel and relieve you of the pain you feel. You are not taking the responsibility to do these things for yourself, and so it leaves you on a crutch of spirituality, which is a very falsehood on how to elevate yourself. So all these things, and this is coming down, like all these things is what is powered into my art. I paint these things. When I do the Sarai experience and I am painting on people, I am praying and rehearsing these things over and over and over and over and over and over again. Everybody on this planet is really three things. I'm gonna tell you what you really are. All you are is vibration, water, and light. That is all that you really are. Your body is what, 70-75% water? If you are not putting in water into your body, and think about this, if I drop a pebble in the water, it creates a ripple effect. That ripple effect goes on and on and on and on and on into that water, right? So think about what you're dropping in your mind, what you're dropping in your ears, what you're dropping through your eyes. What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you thinking about? Because that's creating a ripple effect in your body at all times. Now, let me show you how that relates back to vibration. Ripple creates vibes. So if you're water, light, and I'm gonna get to light last. If you're water, light, and vibration, you drop that pebble of thought, oh, I am sick, I am having a hard time, I am nothing, you are rehearsing and reverberating that into your energy. So that's becoming a part of your vibration.
That's coming out of you too, to your surroundings.
It is, exactly. So it's coming out into your surroundings. Now we start talking about the spirituality that you don't see, that's a part of you, that you are calling in all the time. So now you're calling in other people who are sick. You're calling in other people who create victimization type of mindsets. You're calling in other people who are toxic. You don't know it, but that's what you're doing. So then, but on the flip side, if you're saying, I am wealthy, I am powerful, I am strong, I can make it through today, I am healthy. Like I am are the two of the most powerful words you can put together, because the next word you put after that is the sentence of your life. So after you get through vibrating that through yourself, let's speak with the positive. So you get through vibrating positive through yourself, right? The light is how everything is revealed. The light is how everything grows. The light is what gives you clarity. The light is what gives you focus, right? You come from a star. All those stars are a fused element of gases. It presses together so tightly that it creates light.
Sun gazing.
All of that.
I just saw. I'm thinking the way you're saying this. Yeah.
The light, vitamin D, all those things going in your skin, like, but light itself as a property, all the things I expressed before is what light does. So then, once again, whatever you're vibrating is going to bring message to you. It's going to reveal what type of person you are. Light, reveal your path and where you're supposed to be going. Reveal your purpose and how you're supposed to be utilizing it for others. Reveal the light and how you are supposed to be a service to others, because that's the way that we really make an impact on this world. You make an impact on this world by servitude to others. And if you understand really what that means, servitude is reciprocated. How many times have you given something to someone that you cared about and they didn't accept it, or they said, even if they said no thank you, they still said it in a harmonious way that was like, oh, I appreciate the thought. I appreciate the thought of you giving this to me. But yet, no thank you. Or they say thank you. The reason that servitude helps you is because more than likely by human nature, we reciprocate the love given. Anything given in truth and honesty will return to you the same way. But anything given in deceit and manipulation and lies and trying to flip the truth into something else will return unto you. So never think that you're getting away from us. And I'm a prime example of that, because you're talking to somebody who used to be a big thief. I'll put all of my flaws out because I have nothing to hide. I nothing. So what I learned about that was, and karma used to hit me immediately. Like as soon as I would take something that didn't belong to me, or like, oh man, they not gonna miss this. Take this CD because I like this music, or I'm gonna take this shirt. I'm gonna take these. So I would get something stolen from me, someone break into my house. It's like all type of things would happen on a flip side, because it was showing me, if you continue down this road,
it always does. It's
yes,
so interesting.
This is the type of life you will be living. Do you like it?
That's what I was thinking. Like, I've never been the one. You know, some people just want to, like, somebody does something to them and they just want to get back at them. You know, and I've had. Here's the thing. I have definitely done weird shit in my life and dumb shit, but I've never wanted to revenge people. That was something I said, I don't know, I guess my parents taught me to not be that way, but I've had some extreme things happen to me in the past, and I remember that people asked me, oh, do you want help to try to get back at this person? And I would always say no, because I don't need to, I said, because this person is going to do it to themselves. And me trying to get back at that person is only going to make me stressed and feel shitty. It's not going to make me happy.
Right.
At all. And I know sometimes, yes, you should. Okay, so it was literally right there when I said it. It's okay. I'll just write. It got too hot. Okay, back we are.
All right, so it's recording?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Hi.
We probably get 10 minutes.
But yeah, it's dealing with a situation on hand is the best way for getting rid of vengeful thoughts and vengeful mindset, because.
Do you think you should let's say that somebody does something to you. Do you think you should just individually try to just let it go, or actually try to approach the person? I mean, obviously, depending on if it's like, let's say it's your partner, okay, yeah, of course, but let's say it's not a person close to you.
I think if it crosses the line of things that you have accepted for yourself as a form of respect, I think you should speak on it, because there have been I'm trying to think of a scenario with me, like, okay, well, I'll go with the scenario I talked about yesterday. For me, being in a relationship, I don't like physically being with someone who's going to like be slapping me in the face or all these other different types, even playfully, because I understand it can translate into something a little more if that person was to get upset or angry. And I think that when you're in a relationship with someone, a mature relationship, you should be able to discuss whatever it is that you don't like without being physically confrontational. So if I see the seeds of that, I talk about it and I lay that right out immediately. I don't let that ride and be like, man, I ain't like that. And I keep,
No.
going with things that I don't like from someone that I'm gonna be with. Now, a
build up.
stranger, it definitely does depend on the situation. Like, because someone stole your parking space before you got into it, I don't know.
It's probably not worth it.
It's probably not worth it, but I also think about myself sometimes when being having human experiences. It depends on the situation, but yet again, I would say that I would probably let them have it, and you have to really have a very upfront talk with yourself and just be like, man, is it that serious? Because if it's not, let it go.
Like thinking back how I was in the past, somebody took my parking spot would have bothered me then. Probably
Yep.
made me really annoyed.
Yep.
While if somebody did it to me now, I'm not gonna say I can't have a bad day, but like my bad days are almost non-existent. I'm typically in a very good mood, so if somebody took my parking spot, it wouldn't probably bother me that much. I would just be like, asshole,
Right,
like,
right. Wave it off and don't allow it to stick to your character. Just it just depends on who you are, because I know there's some people who will get upset with you for bumping into them and not saying excuse me. Oh, that's a big one. Like,
that's a good one, actually.
Like, there are people who will really let you off with a pass if you just say, excuse me. Yeah. That's it. I mean, people bump into people. It happens. But I know people, and I'm kind of like that myself from time to time. It's just like, man, you can't say excuse me. And even if I address it that way, like, hey, you can't say excuse me. Most of the time, by human nature, most people are like, oh, I'm sorry. They're into what they're doing that they're not even taking out time to see that, they bumped into you. And it wasn't no real big deal for them, but it was a big deal for you. But since you stated that and you saw how they dealt with it, usually the feelings of like, because you're going to carry that. If you don't say anything, your mind goes straight, man, the next person that bumped into me, depending on if you're that...
and then the next person gets everything, right?
Then the next person just gets the whole shot, So we just have to be very, and I say it this way, I'm disrespectfully honest with myself. Like, I tell myself, look, man, you were thinking that thought. Now, you either better let it go or deal with it right now. Because if you sit there and rehearse that in your spirit, it's going to become a part of you. And it's going to come out of your mouth one day.
And people, yes, exactly. So people might think this sounds, no, it stays in there.
Yeah.
And then at some point it comes out in a place where it shouldn't. And it comes out with your partner, for example.
Yeah.
Now they get all the shit and they were like, I didn't do anything.
Exactly.
That's what's gonna happen. And I actually did a test last time I was here. Sometimes I'm very much in my own little world in my head, and I think a lot, and I don't pay attention. But I've been trying. That's why I turn my service off and everything when I'm out here, because I want to pay attention. And last time I took a whole spin around the whole mountain, and I decided I was gonna smile at every single person that passed me, just to see what happened. I probably crossed, I don't know, at least 20 people on the way. And I think there were 2 people that were just zoning their phones so they didn't see it. Everyone else
smile back.
Just lit up in a smile.
And that's a very good test for exactly how most of people around the world are. The news will have you believe that everywhere is violent, everywhere is people is disrespectful, everywhere someone's breaking into somebody's home.
Yep.
No. Most people want to be left alone. They want to eat well. They want to be happy, and they want to be loved.
Yeah.
That's most people. Everybody's not breaking into your home or trying to do you harm, but it's just, we have to, reconditioning the way we think is based on what we're putting in our mind, man. You have to seek.
Media is dangerous.
It's dangerous, and it's been used to weaponize against the people from a psychological standpoint, because we don't do enough of this. We don't do enough of person-to-person discussion. We don't do enough of sitting and listening to positive input. Most of us wake up.
And even this, we're recording now, but for 2 freaking days we've been just talking.
Yeah.
Off any recording.
Yep.
And then I do like to put it out though, because I want to inspire people too. And
this is a seed.
This is the stuff I want to talk about.
These are the seeds. And we like, I think of the world right now as like lights and shadows. Every person on this planet is lights and shadows. And we're dealing with the shadow because of what's been inputted into us by our parents, media. Like the shadow part of myself is actually the quieted subconscious of things that have been inputted into us that we're trying to fuse out or find some type of like uh, peace with. Now I can speak for myself. Me personally, I know that there's a certain type of darkness about myself that is rebellious. Like, if you ask me to do something, I will do the opposite. Like, just because I don't care what it is. Like, when I was younger and people would be like, I bet you won't jump off that two-story building. I bet I will. I bet you won't jump out the car while it's still rolling. I bet I will. I was the daredevil type, you know? And it was told to me spiritually one time. I did something that was so embarrassing. My friend had a birthday party, and he invited me to his birthday party. I came in, we partied, had a good time, sat at the tables, he paid for everything. And we paid for our own food. I ordered $40 worth of food. And then I ditched and dined pretty much. I got up and I dipped, just left, right? And I was like, and I was with some girl and she was cheering it on and both of us like, we dipped out. When I got home, he called, he was like, bro, did you order some food? I was like, yeah. He said, did you order $40 worth of food? I was like, yeah. He said, are you still here? I said, nah, I left. He paused. He was like, man, man, you gotta pay for that. I felt so bad. And when I went to give him the $40 the next 2 days, because it took me 2 days to give him $40 back, but I heard this in my spirit that says, do you see what you just did? And I said, yeah. He said, when you use your superpower like that, it's stupidity. It's foolishness. You see how embarrassed you are? He said, that same level of bravery and rebelliousness and courage you have, take that and put that into when there's police brutality. Put that into when people are out doing things that are negative to the community, and take that same bravery you got to just get up and ditch that, and put that type of power into things that are going to be helpful to the people, and then your superpower is being used for good. See, that's the shadow. The shadow will do all that weird stuff. The light, it's not really a difference because the same energy is there, but you're learning how to convert it into something that is going to be helpful, and once again, a servitude to people.
I love how you said that I was like, yeah, you were being brave, but in
a foolish way. In a
Mm-hmm.
foolish way. Yeah. And so
because a lot of people are very brave in foolish ways, right?
In foolish ways. Like, I have lots of love and understanding and compassion for so-called Black people and our culture, but the things we have accepted, even in gang culture, there's no reason why gang culture shouldn't have taken that and protected their community, because that's where it started. It started that way. All those gangs came out of the Black Panther Party, and when the Black Panther Party dissolved, they took political ideals, but they used those political ideals for themselves and to make money. Now we need to take that power and put it back into the community. There should be no reason why we had a George Floyd situation where we have an entire community of Crips, an entire community of Bloods, an entire community of Gangster Disciples, an entire community of El Rukens, and put that into protecting community. Nobody should be able to walk into there and just do what they want. I'm talking about from a political standpoint. There's no reason why the gang culture should not already have their own political party by now. That way we have a third party alternative instead of getting Biden or Trump. We have a third party alternative, and it's the people. So I've already said a lot because I know a lot more, but what I will say is this. Once again, the Ruach Kadesh, and I'll go into more like description as to what I just said, but put on me the spirit of this. All games that you use your mind with, you don't use your mouth. He said, want some examples? How many times does the chess player tell the other chess player what moves he's going to make? Never. How many times does people on playing poker show their hand to the other person and tell them, I'm going to play this card? Never. How many times does the coach on a football team walk across the field and show the coach his playbook? Never. The games where you use your mind, you don't use your mouth. So you should stop talking about everything you want to do to change the structure of political situations. You should stop talking about everything you want to do to change the agricultural situation. You should pull in your hub of community, your round table circle of people, discuss these things, start putting a plan together, put it into action without word. Let your thing be done by people who see what you're doing, and give your information to those who are supportive of your organization. And then by the time anybody has time to stop you, you're already too big for them to stop. That's how the Black Panther Party happened in itself too. So there's so many other organizations that I could speak on, but like we need to learn when to speak and when not to speak.
Yes.
And once we start learning to let go of some of the ego, because sometimes
there's a lot of people that are very good at speaking.
Yep.
That's why, like love languages, right?
Yeah.
So I told you the other day that like words it was never a thing for me, because I don't listen to people's words. I look at people's actions. And I've always done that. So that's why, for example,